Hello and welcome to episode 11 of our Waterbeavers Season 2 here in Update 5, Cycle 10, Day 15. We have a bad tide incoming in about a day and a half. And last episode, we did a little bit more in preparation for more of that kind of stuff to occur with a very large water reservoir back here, which has allowed us to increase our storage up to about 2,800 as of right now. It needs to be a lot higher as we continue moving forward, but before we get too much more water stored up, we're going to have some more storage options, which of course requires science, which of course requires us to put beavers in the library. Or I guess if we really wanted to do some fun stuff, we could go and get those mechanical drills, but that also requires science. So yeah, we just got to get these guys in the library. That's just the way it is. So what we're going to end up doing is popping these guys in here, trying to keep them fed and, I guess, watered would make the most sense. But we don't really have enough to put too much in here. So it's just kind of one of those things that is really important, but we also kind of can't do because we have all this other chaos and nonsense occurring. And we're just kind of caught in a whole bunch of stuff right now. We got a lot of things that are right on the cusp of being just enough for our beavers to survive, and some that are, you know, not even close. Rice being an eternal problem, unfortunately, because it gets wiped out every cycle and a half. And it takes 8 full days to grow back, and it's very labor-intensive to harvest, so on and so forth. We don't know how long this bad tide is going to be, so it could be an interesting problem for us to end up having here. So we're going to have to maybe think about transitioning away from rice as a staple crop. We do have all these cabbages up here, which is good. And we're going to relocate this farmhouse up here and then put another one right next door, as well as over here, once we do a little bit more work on taking care of some of that stuff. But that's all stuff that's going to have to come in time, and we've got a lot of beavers here that have some mild disease that we can't really do anything about until we have science, because of course medical beds require science to be built and all sorts of other fun stuff. And like I said, the science is coming in. It's just really slow, and there's a bunch of other stuff we have to get to, as some of you in the comments have been very enthusiastic about pointing out. The screw press, we absolutely need to get that going as soon as we can so we can make sunflower oil. And that one is only 50 science, thankfully, so hopefully sometime this episode we can unlock that and start producing some sunflower oil. We do have the ability to make the screw press axles, which are right here. Currently we're making sawdust for mushroom fuel, and I don't know that I've ever had so much of a heated debate about recipes for buildings to produce as it has been with the slow versus fast mushrooms. Each side vehemently defending their choice. But we're going to have to start utilizing the slow mushroom growth a little bit more, just because it's going to be impossible for us to keep up with sawdust production unless we have a lot more stuff going on. So I am going to go ahead and switch a couple of these just so we can have batches of 40 at a time and just idly use some of these logs. But don't worry. If you're one of the people that really hates the slow one, we're still going to leave a lot of them on fast. But we got to have something in the tank to come back and use later. So, like I said, bad tide coming in. About to be 1 day left as soon as the sun comes up here, and that changes to day 16. So, pretty much the only thing we can do now is just keep on making food. And fortunately, there is a lot up here in the way of cabbage to be harvested. So let's go ahead and let's start moving these farmhouses up here. I'll go ahead and build those 2 right there. That'll give us 3 different pairs here, so that when we, of course, go in and unlock the farmhouse upgrades for assistant farmers, we can just plop those right on top and have no issues there. These guys definitely need to be harvesting. We also have some green peas growing in, and I did not know that those could be eaten raw because, of course, the plant they're based on, at least visually, the soybeans in the base game cannot be eaten raw. They have to be fermented. So I just kind of put that behind the whole, hey, we don't have the science to actually do any sort of processing. But no, we can actually use these. So I'm going to just make this entire thing, once these get harvested, I'm going to make this all into the green peas. And then we'll see eventually if we can get some of these other buildings going that can actually use them in recipes. And we'll see what we can make happen here. So again, like I said, water situation is looking pretty good. We don't know how long the bad tide's going to be. It could be just a couple days. It could be as long as a regular good tide, temperate season, whatever you want to call it. So we should probably not be in too much danger of it being very long, but you know how that goes. If you don't prepare for the worst, that's what's going to absolutely be guaranteed to happen. So before we get into the bad tide, I also did want to discuss this. Right here we have a primitive dam that is 8 blocks wide. And according to you guys in the comments, or a number of you at least, the intermittent flooding issues that we had here are not because of our outlet being an issue. It was actually because this is such a spread out crest of a dam, so to speak, because of the way it calculates whether a dam is going to let water through or not. So it ends up surging even though the volume isn't any higher. So what we might want to do is we might want to replace maybe these two right here, these two dams, with a couple of these other lodge buildings or something else that could utilize all of that stuff. So we've got our work cut out for us. We've got plenty we can get done. For the time being, it's probably okay. We have contaminated beaver jails ready to go. We have a capacity of, I don't know, 12. It should be okay. They're just kind of popped over here wherever. Our little area over here is really not been used very much. But we do have plenty of brain-stimulating mushrooms. We're going to have to start making some more, but I'm not... actually, we have unemployed beavers. Maybe I should. I don't know. We got some options. We've got some things we would like to be able to get into. Of course, we have our lemon trees, which are continuing to spread, which is very exciting. We have plenty of pine resin that's being collected here. And then eventually we can maybe start doing some other stuff with this area. But for right now, again, main concern is to make sure we have water, which we do. That should be A-okay. Food-wise, I mean, we have 1,300. We have 173 beavers. We should be good for at least a couple days. But the biggest problem is going to be when this rice has to get replanted at the end of the bad tide. And most of this is actually, pretty much all of this is not going to survive. Maybe some of it that's sitting here at above 90% might be able to survive, because we're at half a day right now. The problem at that point just becomes having the manpower to harvest it, but you know how that goes. We've been down that road a billion times before, not literally a billion, but might as well be. we got a lot going on, got a lot to keep up with. But things are continuing to improve, so I have no reason to believe that won't continue to go at that same pace. Even if all the rice gets killed, we do have 142 stored up, which is good for some rice balls. We don't really have any of those right now, actually. That is not a food that the library consumes. But yeah, they got their work cut out for them. We do have a decent storage of kimchi now, and the green peas are continuing to accumulate as well. Got plenty of braised cabbage here in our hand of soup. We got some lemonade that, in theory could be made if we had lemons, which I had always assumed was available. But it seems like these trees have, well, the ones that are reachable have all been harvested. So that's unfortunately going to have to wait. Let's go ahead and get through the rest of this day and then find out what kind of fate awaits us for our bad tide here. Now, while we're waiting, the treated planks, I've been informed, are functionally useless. So we need to make sure that we don't make too many of those. Right now, they're just kind of, taking up space, being used as one of those ways for us to just effectively dump resources. I was trying to figure out something to do with all that other stuff, but it's It's just not necessary. It's not something we need to really worry about. The Alchemist Lodge up here. Because I can't really make any of this other stuff, but I'm going to go ahead and set this to the... actually, no, the brain boosting salts require strong alcohol, which I can't currently make. Nitroglycerin is the closest thing, probably. Or tar, actually. Basic balm we can't make. Coffee we can't make. You know, I think the tar is going to be the most immediately useful thing. So I will go ahead and set that so they can at least start taking some of the pine resin out of storage so we can keep harvesting that. And then we'll see what's going on. But now let's find out our fate for the bad tide. Okay, 4 days. 4 days. So all the rice is 100% going to be dead. But we have enough food stored up. 4 days is not going to be a problem. Well, we're going to be really low at the end of it, but we'll be okay. Plus, we have all of these irrigation lodges that are going to keep all of our crops hydrated. The majority of our farmed trees looking good. Some of these cabbages are actually not really gonna do that well, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes that is all you can do. So, I'm not particularly eager to demolish the dam straight away if we don't have another building to put in, especially since this is just going to continue to be a thing. But considering that this is a bad tide and this is only going to continue to flow at the exact same rate, there's not really any reason to give up on it now, especially since our water storage is pretty full. So I'm thinking for the benefit of everything else we have going on here, I can go ahead. I'm going to leave this one in the corner here. I'm definitely going to leave that going, but we can take these two out and we can actually force all of the water to come through here. And that should keep the flow relatively consistent. Raise it just a tiny bit. If it ends up being a problem, we can always just, remove whatever building we put in there. But the other issue we have now is we got a lot of unemployed beavers. So I don't really want to add housing that doesn't also add jobs. Now we have housing that does have, 1 or 2 jobs, but I think we might want to have some industrial buildings over here. And if we had the screw press, this would actually be a pretty good option for that. Because that could be 2 blocks high. And of course, we can stack these on top of other things, but this has to be powered. And right now, nothing is going to be generating any power because we don't have any way for it to get through. So in the interest of, actually accomplishing something today, let's go ahead. Let's kill this primitive dam. And I'm going to go ahead and mark a bunch of these for demolition. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a bunch of these lumberjacks going. Now, the beavers are going to become contaminated. That is just the way it goes. No real way around it. So, yeah, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and let it happen. Looks like there's not really any more rice that we're going to be able to harvest before all this goes away. Which is unfortunate, but hey, what are you going to do? And the answer to that, of course, is absolutely nothing. Because there is nothing you can do. But we can go ahead and start planting some more green peas up here. Probably should have gotten on those earlier. Yes, I know. All of you in the comments who've been saying that are vindicated as of this point. But yeah, just got to keep everything going. These fermentation barrels haven't really been doing anything because our bramble flower situation, while they're all stored here, I don't have enough free beavers or haulers or whoever to actually staff these, or stock them rather. The haulers are only employable at buildings like these. So right now we got 2, we got 4, 6, 8 haulers at the very least. And then I believe, yeah, see those river baths are now bad news there. I believe this is a, I'll just have to look it up. Yeah, they're haulers. Okay, so we have 5 there. And then this pass-through lodge might also be a hauler? Yeah, okay. That works. So they're doing their thing. We've got our first unwell beaver. You know what that means. It means they're going to be in a contaminated beaver jail for a while. Everything here is working as it should, for the most part, about as best as we can. We got cabbage that needs to be harvested. The rice, thankfully, once that all dies out, will not be a temptation for our beavers here. They're just going to keep on doing what they can do. Hey, we have some lemonade. That's good to see. Making, you know, the planks we don't really need. Don't really need any more planks. But I'm also, you know, not in a position where I can really do much of anything else right now. We just got to get our science up so we can research that screw press. And I do think I'm going to build the screw press right here. And then see if we can maybe put a couple more of these water wheels in place. So right now I don't have the science to really unlock much of anything else. I mean, I can have this little thing, this little power wheel, but hey, guess what? That requires sunflower oil. This one doesn't. Of course, if, you know, you research stuff, which we can't really do right now, then you can of course add the better water wheels, but right now, oh, this isn't going to work here because there is a pine tree that is dead. Well, I don't know if they can actually get here. I don't know if there's a staircase to go down. Yeah, they probably can't get to this. Yep. Okay, that's a problem. I guess this is going to have to be... oh, that's a pain. I'm going to have to get these guys in. Oh, got 9 unwell beavers. That's the way it goes, folks. Not really going to be much we can do about it. Just got to make it work with what you got. It's our eternal motto. These things are contaminated, of course, because I don't have... Yeah, see, what's the deal with that? The small leaky bath is not uncontaminating. So, I'm guessing that's a bug, because this is definitely in the range of this. And it's definitely getting contaminated, whereas, see, this, for example, seems to be working... Well, actually, it's overlaying all of the radii for all the irrigation or leaky baths or whatever. So this seems to be working. This is already killed cabbage. These trees are all dead. Okay, well, I also didn't have anything protecting this, so I can't be too upset about it. Yep, we're doing farmhouses, cabbage, all sorts of good stuff here. So our food situation is actually just going to keep getting better. No problems there. Well, I guess I might as well just go ahead and demolish that so they can walk in here and come get this pine out. Because, let's face it, we're not using these blanks we're making anyway. We're just kind of biding time until we have science. So let's double our science output here. And by double, I mean quadruple. Get these guys these brain-stimulating mushrooms. At least enough for a little while. Jumpstart our science a little bit. Get that unlocked in the way of the screw press. Which means we need to start making screw press axles. 2 days. Oh, it's almost 3 days. That's a lot of chewing. That's a whole lot of chewing. That's going to take so long. But we do need to have that there. Yeah, so they'll come grab this eventually. 9 unwell beavers, 1 dirty beaver, which they're supposed to be able to cleanse themselves in the baths here. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Man, I really should have built another one of those irrigation baths. I was so afraid of having the water run out. But I think now the blueberry seedlings, the blueberry bushes, I probably should try to protect because, as the mod creator pointed out in the comments, the blueberries are not something you could plant until late game or later in the game. So it's going to behoove me to find a place to put another one of these irrigation lodges. And actually, if we take a look at this, right here would be a pretty good spot. So these trees are already dead anyway, so that's probably about as good as we're going to get for a while. So we'll pop that in there. Why not? Save these trees. Because it is annoying for these to die when they're so close to actually being harvestable. So that's fine. Alright, things are continuing to go well here. I can go ahead and put another one of these farmhouses, which we could always use for more farmhouses up here. This one is going to get removed. I don't want to have too many open beds because that's going to encourage rapid breeding, which is not currently one of our goals. Alright, they're getting more of these trees out of here. If I could figure out a way to do reliable power generation over here with just water wheels, so we could put something like a screw press or what have you right here, then I think that would probably be a good choice, but we're just not in a spot for it at the present moment in time. But what we can do, friends, so we can pop in 2 of these guys, which is not going to do a ton more power. Yes, I know this is here. It's still going to work. Hopefully. If not, then I'll just look like a giant idiot, which, well, it's not exactly a new thing here. That was quick to get that built up. Wow. We got 6 empty beds. I do not want to have any more beavers, so let's, at least for right now. Let's see, what can I pause that is a house and not a dam? Builders, I will just pause this one, because that has 6 dwelling spots. So that works. Yeah, look how nasty this is now. I probably need to have another one of those over here as well, these irrigation launches, especially if we want to keep all of this stuff ready to go. These guys can't cut anything. Oh, you know why? Because I decided, oh, I should keep all the. No, I don't need to worry about this. We'll just start cutting more and more and more and more of these wild brambles here, because I can put buildings here. We can actually have some sort of a productive space. All right, good. Now that we have all these extra things, I can plant more green peas, and these cabbages will get harvested. Food supply still looking really good. Love to see that. 1.2 days left in our bad ties. We'll see what ends up happening here. Our mushroom grower is at 90% on 40 mushrooms. And hopefully that ends up being a pretty good thing. At least to have a couple of those. It uses 20 water to make 40 mushrooms, whereas this uses to make the same. Oh, I'm so bad at math. I don't know why I can't do basic math. It's some sort of brain dysfunction. 10 mushrooms is 1 unit of water, but it also uses 1 sawdust per mushroom versus 3 logs to make 40 mushrooms. So you can do the math on that one. If you have excess sawdust, then yes, this makes sense. If you don't, and you're only employing beavers to produce sawdust, which we definitely are in multiple of these log gnawing stations, then that is just wasting labor. We don't need to be making a whole bunch of sawdust, only when we could be making also screw press axles, which are very useful. So that is something we'll definitely be getting into, especially now that the water supply is a lot more stable. No real issues there. But good news, friends, is that we have the science to unlock the screw press, which we will go ahead and do unceremoniously. And you know what? I saw the water going, and I thought to myself, you know what would be great? Is if I went in here and I made a stupid mistake like this and just wasted a whole bunch of resources and time. That is my favorite thing to do. But this is going to be power shafts. Yes, that's a separate thing now. That's going to be replaced with that thing. And we will go ahead and, of course, have this popped up over here just as soon as I have the screw press in the correct spot. Yes, that will go there quite nicely. We'll just, for the sake of future expansion, just do one of these numbers. This guy right now doesn't have any sawdust anyway, so that can go away. That was always a temporary deal. Primitive paper mill is also one of those things that will eventually go away. We have 136 paper, so we really don't need this. But like I said, the screw press will go here. It is kind of far away from where we're making all of our sunflower seeds, but this is the only place on the map we have power currently, so it is what it is. And this is already set to sunflower oil, so that's going to be fine. The entrance to this one is on the ground floor, so that's looking good. I will go ahead and give them a little storage right outside for the sunflower seeds, which should go here And then, of course, what this produces is a liquid, so we will need to have a couple of tanks. So I will just, I got these other 2 tanks here. I'll have these set for sunflower oil just because we need to have somewhere to store that. And then, once we have that going, that's going to unlock a bunch of other opportunities for us as well. Yeah, look at us go. We're looking good. And now we're out of brain-boosting mushrooms. I always call it brain-boosting mushrooms. Brain-stimulating mushrooms, not boosting. But we're going to have this bad water bucketing post turned back on. And then the mushroom grower for the brain-stimulating mushrooms turned on as well. But this needs sawdust, which is our eternal problem of not having enough sawdust. So, I'm going to pop probably most of the rest of these over to the slow mushroom growth. We also have, you know, almost 100 mushrooms right now. Could definitely be a whole lot worse, but we really need to make sure that we are getting as much use out of what precious sawdust we can make as best as we can. So these are dead. These are dead. These are dead. These are... Okay, that's dying in 907 days, so it's basically not dead. But this space right here, if we manage to have irrigation that actually works, could be a good additional farmland, or could just be good future stuff for us to keep going into. Just got to get the rest of this brought down, which of course these 4 will go ahead and take care of for us. We have 17 unwell beavers. I guess they have not yet progressed to contamination, but the 2 that are going to the contaminated beaver jail like good beaver citizens. And yeah, we just got to keep an eye on things. It's not like we have a shortage of working beavers, so you know, if 11 more of them were to go to contaminated beaver jail, we really wouldn't feel any sort of loss in terms of productivity. But I am glad we managed to get through that with just about the same amount of food that we started with, even if it was a different item. So, the exciting thing now is, that is a glorious sound. We have the screw press axles, in theory, once those are fully produced, going in here to make some sunflower oil. Sunflower seeds are coming in. This, of course, right here being a storage for that. Bring those in. They are also edible, so the beavers are going to want to, you know, snack on those things. Unless we can have more of them. And we do have a pretty good amount over here already. So I was going to turn some of this, and by some of this, I mean all of this, into sunflowers. So we might as well just go ahead and get that going. Eventually, the water will run clear and clean again. And everything will be fine. We got 1,200 water still. Now, I did say I was going to... Wait, why is it... We got green here. Is that because does the dam actually, you know, purify water? Well, there's no in-game reason for it to do that, but that's an interesting thought. We were going to try to come up with some more buildings to put here, and I did briefly consider putting in the rudimentary sawmill. But, again, we don't have any current that I can actually harvest or whatever over here quite yet. That'll be maybe a little bit later. We can make that work. So, in terms of, you know, capacity, this might actually still be okay because there's so much water coming through here. It's not going to be a problem. Oh, since we're here, I always forget that the depth of the water pumps is adjustable now. So, we can, to stop them pumping, we can't just raise this all the way up to 0. So that was one of those things that I was just not even remotely thinking about, and someone pointed out in the comments. So I do always read them. In case you were ever in doubt, I do always read them. I can't respond to everything. And sometimes I can't respond to a lot of it, but I do always make sure to read everything and take notes on stuff I think is going to help us out. So please do always feel free to leave feedback or suggestions or observations that I haven't figured out. And while we're on that topic, somebody said, hey, you should build double high levees. I really should, but that requires science that I cannot afford to spend yet. That's 150 to unlock the double high. But there definitely are some spaces we could use those. Make good use of funneling things around. Like right here, for example. I believe this is what somebody was talking about. We could pop something in here and actually flood a lot more of this than we're currently using. Could be a very, very useful thing for us to be doing. But, you know, it's all trade-offs. Everything comes at a price, and you have to be able to, you know, actually utilize your stuff effectively. That's the goal, right? We have 11 contaminated beavers. Those guys are working. We have our screw press. The axles for the screw press, though, that's a different story because they take 2 days and 22 hours worth of work time to make, which is, you know, probably closer to most of a week. Week in game that doesn't measure weeks, but what we would know. 2 days and 22 hours of work time is a lot. That is 70 hours? And at 16-hour days, that's, yeah. Now you can do the math on that one. That's basically a full, quote-unquote, work week. 5 days. Math is hard. I don't know. Someday I'll figure out how to actually do math. Oh, hey, this is actually turning. Nice. Or it was. As soon as I click on it, it stopped. But I guess we're replanting rice now on day 2. Those guys are going to get that going. Cabbages, fortunately, since we have all this up here, we're no longer in danger of being out of those. This was definitely something we should have done a lot earlier, and I just, you know, didn't particularly care to, you know, bother with it. It is what it is. So this is hopefully by the end of this workday, we'll have 1 screw press axle. Screw press axle. Got the seeds in place, or we got a decent number of seeds at least. Looks like we got 1/100th of a screw press axle for every sunflower oil. So every 100 sunflower oil, we will need a new screw press axle, but in that same amount of time, we will be able to process 200 seeds. And currently we have none in general storage. They're just, you know, popped in here. So that's fine. Now the water level is actually not that much lower right now with just this open as it was before. So these guys still have some range, right? Yeah, okay. We can have these guys keep going up here. Just take as much as we can before we unemploy them. We have all these extra beavers. We might as well use them, right? Anyway, so that's going there. That's all looking good. And we got a lot of stuff we can do with sunflower oil. Like I honestly couldn't even go through and name everything, but it's a very important thing in a lot of recipes, none of which I've managed to actually show on screen yet. But for example, the pumpkin chips take sunflower oil. We haven't started doing pumpkins yet because that has to come out of the large farmhouse, which is something that has to be blueprinted, which means we have to have all of that infrastructure set up, and that's still going to take a decent amount of time. But it is a relatively low science cost at 75. It's definitely something to look forward to. But the more interesting stuff than that, well, the pumpkin chips is a completely OP food strategy. We're going to definitely be getting into that. But we have the fried rice is definitely a very, very worthwhile recipe to be making. Takes 2 hours and you get 22 units of it. And minus the, is this lotus flower? Yeah, minus the lotus flowers, we already have all this. So that would be a really easy thing to make. We have the, actually we don't have the medium cauldron because I built something else. We'll have to make another one. But we can build this. We can research it right now. We just don't have the lotus flowers. And those are locked behind the large farmhouse. So you can see where this is getting. We want to try to get to the large farmhouse. But of course, to do that, we have to have all sorts of other fun stuff, like the Architect's Lodge, for example, can make us the large farmhouse blueprints. But that's 100 science. And we also, to make that blueprint, have to have the brain-boosting salts, which we don't currently have and can't make, because the alchemist, to make that, well, I won't change the recipe because it's gathering these materials. Hopefully the sunflower oil can go over there so we can, you know, make some tar. Or maybe I just don't have this running right now because we don't have a need for it. I don't know. Tar is nice to have. We don't need it at this exact moment. So, you know what? I will pause it. It's not being used as a dam. That's fine. But we just have so many tiny, like, interlocking things that all have to work together. Gets to be a lot, but I think it's worth it at least. So the brain boosting salts require strong alcohol. How do you get strong alcohol, you ask? It has to be fermented. How do you do that? In a distillery. So, that we have to either make wine to get strong alcohol, or we have to make chestnut beer, or we have to make half-fermented sake. How do you get half-fermented sake? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I actually don't remember. We should probably figure that out. But there's so much different stuff to do. It's basically a never-ending cycle. And I think it was the fermentation barrel, which is just rice and water, which is another good reason to have lots of rice. I try to plant as much rice as I can, because it's very useful. But we also use it to make the food. So if I manage to turn off the rice balls and just have these guys instead make a braised cabbage, then that would free up all of our rice to be used to make the half-fermented sake, which we could easily pop in. Is this the rice storage? Yes. This should be a no-brainer to do the half-fermented sake right here. So we'll just let this batch of kimchi finish. Hopefully I remember to change this over. But it's going to be a while before we get to rice again anyway, because, we have 8 days for it to grow. There's 250 rice in here, and this rice is stored here. So I guess I could just switch over now, but the kimchi ingredients are not something we want to go to waste. This is also going to need to probably be adjusted at some point, because they're going through a lot of sunflower seeds that we really should be using to make the sunflower oil. Currently, we've actually made a little bit. We got, 21 out of 45. That works. It's just an eternal, I can't even remember to keep up with thinking about what I need to use all this stuff for. It is quite a lot to keep up with, but we'll get there. Not going to be a problem. We do have 19 contaminated beavers. In case you thought I didn't notice, yes, it's up there. It's just, right now, it's not really all that relevant. We just have all this other stuff to occupy our time with. But yes, the brain-boosting salts are going to need to be what we end up doing next. Again, I'm not going to change it yet. But like we said earlier, we have to have the alcohol for it. So that is one of those things we'll just have to come back and do later. This is set to 0. Okay, you are making sake now, both of you. So they can go ahead and start filling that up with the rice. Again, we have 260 of that, so that's good. It's just this right here, the cooking tent that was making the rice balls, is also using salt, which I believe we're actually out of. So that works, I guess. We're getting saltpeter, which we have a full storage of. So I will go ahead and switch this back over to salt. That's probably why we didn't have any rice balls. But I digress. This will be fine. We have nothing brought in yet, but that's probably because it was nighttime. I guess I could tick these on prioritized by haulers. This one already was, so that's looking good. Actually, I wonder. Oh, I should leave the rest of these on kimchi mode for right now. It's probably the smart way to do it. But we definitely need to be growing some more sunflowers here. These need to be harvested. These were sunflower seedlings that I didn't replant for whatever reason. And this over here could definitely stand to be more sunflowers than anything else, because this is going to start spreading. Yeah, so we'll just we'll go ahead and start replanting all of this. Hopefully stop the spread of all of these things and, get a little bit more. So that's all looking good. We should being the operative term. Yeah, that's still incredibly slow. Yeah, we're on our way to having some half-fermented sake, which means we can go ahead and just check this recipe again, because I always forget. Yeah, we can turn our alchemist onto the brain... What's this one called? Brain-boosting salts. But the mushrooms are stimulating. You know what that means. It means demonetization if I tell you why. But we know. Okay, so we're making those things here. Gathering these things. We got 21 infected beavers, but you know how it goes. They'll get over it. Everything down here is looking better. I really should have put these irrigation lodges in many, many more places much sooner than I did. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm going to have to put another one over here. Now that we know the water isn't really that huge of a deal, that big of an issue. Oh, wow. I can go all the way back here? Seriously? Okay. Well, that would be nice, because then I could actually have some other stuff taken care of here. Just have to get the rest of these things removed. I guess I could live with putting this here. It's not like it's going to really make that big of a difference. Just got to get this little bit removed. I guess we could triple speed this thing right now. Well, we still can on this map before everything gets super crazy. Yeah, it takes them a real long time to get rid of those. A really, really, really long time. That one even grew up. Well, I was trying to dig it out. Alright, my guy, let's go. Cool. So that's going to go there. It's going to take it a little while to get built, and we don't have to worry about it at this exact moment. But I will unplant both of these. Not going to get rid of them, but we will unplant them. And then we can, of course, come in and take care of the rest of this. Yeah, we gotta just take all these things out, man. The brambles, of course, we need the flowers for stuff, but we have 275 of those. And there are plenty of brambles elsewhere that we could take advantage of, or we could just, continue to take care of this. This lumberjack barn, at one point I was harvesting the bramble flowers from this, but honestly, this is not a great place for a lumberjack barn. I think we might get rid of this and just have this be some more farmhouses. The forester can also probably go away. I will not be replanting any of these. These are actually just about ready to be harvested, so we will cut these down. We'll cut those down, unmark them for tree planting, and we'll, of course, replant with all of our sunflowers, which means I need to have space for another one of these farmhouses, which probably is going to end up going here. This log storage, not a great spot for that. Here we go. Yep, that'll fit in very nicely. Just double our capacity a little bit. That should be just fine. This bath no longer serves that much of a purpose. Except it might have actually inadvertently extended my perception of what this irrigation lodge could cover. Which is always a funny thing. Yeah, but this will help us quite a bit. Now, I have 108 science points. Which means we could unlock a number of things. We have the assistant farmer upgrade I could easily do for 100. That's going to really help harvestability of stuff. And we have, as far as I can tell, we have everything to build one of these. But we also have all these other buildings we want to be taking advantage of. Like, for example, Alchemist, Distillery itself could and is going to have to be something that we get into as soon as we have the half-fermented sake. We do have to put it in this building. But we would need to have 50 of that to even start making 10. And right now we only have 20. So we can take a look at some of our other buildings we were wanting to get into. Of course, in science we have the Architect's Lodge, which is 100. Would allow us to get into the large farmhouse area, but that, of course, requires the brain-boosting salts. And then, what's that? Drafting tools. I can't remember what this thing is. I guess I could click on this. It'll tell me. Pencil sets. Drafting tools. Close enough. 60 green peas, which we don't have, but we are on our way to producing. So, Architect's Lodge right now is not exactly the best option, but it's going to be very, very soon. Mechanics Lodge also for gears. I made a big deal about not having gears a long time ago, and you guys said in the comments, oh, it's for XYZ. I don't remember off the top of my head right now while I'm recording this. I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point, but the gears are not a pressing issue. So for the sake of actually progressing toward making stuff so we can make our way to the large farmhouse so we can plant pumpkins and all that other fun stuff, let's go ahead and unlock our distillery. We've got our 50 science here. 75 scrap metal we don't have. We are going to have to go find some of that. But our distillery is going to need to go somewhere in here. These gatherer flags don't need to be here. This actually would be a great place to put a distillery. If I can get this out of the way here. I forgot that's what this building looked like. Okay, that is the Napoleon billboard. Sorry. It is time for you to leave. But I will, I guess turn this one around this way is probably going to make the most sense, because these three are supposed to be, except I forgot, and this one didn't reset. But anyway, we can make pollution resistance factor, we can make alcohol distillation, we can make alcohol distillation, we can make, you guessed it, alcohol distillation from the sake, of course. And then there's also endothermic essence, and then nitrate. That's actually kind of cool, nitrate synthesis. But we need now to go ahead, I'll take this off triple speed. We need to get more of this scrap metal, which our buddy Josh over here is hard at work getting. He probably could use a little bit of help, but we don't. We have 24 contaminated beavers. We're gonna, you know, make a provision for this to actually be possible here with the addition of a bunch of these scrapper flags. And this will help take beavers away from some of our other liquid stuff. But hey, this is all actually looking pretty good. These guys cannot reach much of anything, really. The wild brambles are dead. They don't have to be harvested. These trees, the trees are dead. They can still be harvested, but the wild brambles, you can just kind of, you know, how's this? Oh, this died from the bad water. That's what it was. We just kind of get rid of these things. So we have all the space back here. We do have a pass-through lodge that we did build, but we kind of blocked it in. So if we wanted to, we could actually build another one of these pass-through lodges that acts as a hauler base, and then put something else in the middle. The way this is set up, we take a look at our pass-through lodge. Takes 2 gears, which I don't have, which is unfortunate. But what we could do, I don't know if we're going to get back both gears. We might not, so I probably shouldn't delete this. But we could, since this is here and this is here, this would be watertight if I removed this. But since I don't know if I'm going to have the gears, I'm just simply not going to get that quite yet. But, friends, once this distillery is complete, which it's, again, going to take some time because of the scrap metal, we can put our sake, half-fermented sake, mind you, into the distillery, and that should be fine. Unless the beavers drank it, scoundrels that they are, it's entirely possible they did. That is annoying, because it showed up under the beverages thing here. Or, I'm sorry, drinkable. Why would you drink? Yeah, whatever. Half fermented. Probably not gonna taste that good, but hey, whatever. Beavers can do beaver things, I suppose. But all that to say, we're about to have 100 more of these science points, which again could be the thing that allows us to do the mechanics lodge, and honestly probably should be the next thing we unlock, just so we can keep making gears so we can make this other stuff. They have blueprints as well, of course, like for the mechanical drill, the beaver washing machine, which is going to be a very useful thing for us later in the game. Maybe even right now, honestly, to keep the beavers, you know, disinfected. Large water wheel blueprints, floodgate dam blueprints, and then the ENS, of course. So, both these buildings support an Architect's Lodge, Mechanics Lodge. Architect's Lodge allows us to also do scaffolding. And the large farmhouse, which of course we're trying to make. Yeah, they keep drinking the sake. They keep drinking this stuff. So I either have to make it fast enough or have a storage that they, in a building that they, you know, can't actually drink it out of. Look at these beavers are alcoholics, man. They're just going to keep doing it. The drinking of half fermented sake will continue until morale improves, which is you know, probably not going to actually help. Is this finished yet? Almost. Yeah, we'll just maybe I don't want to start making more of this, or maybe I do. I probably should, honestly. Yeah, because I need to be making it anyway. All right, we'll swap that over. I need them to get the rest of the scrap metal. These guys, hopefully, I know they can only work on a couple at a time, based on how the stuff is set up. But we will eventually get there. There is a good bit still to be harvested here. It's just kind of a little bit of a roundy-roo process to get there. The rice is coming back, and within the next couple of days we should have more of that. So that's good to see. Did they get all of this? It looks like they might have. Yeah, 98 science. What is that getting held up by anything? Ah, the brain-stimulating mushrooms. Yeah, those are being made up here. And that's failing because we don't have sawdust. See, I knew I needed to swap these guys over to slow growth. Yeah, we cannot afford at this moment to actually spare any sawdust. That's unfortunate. But, you know our motto, it is what it is. We have these green peas slowly accumulating. We don't have any storage for them, but when we actually are overproducing those, whenever we get to that point, if we get to that point, then we can do that. I feel like maybe the assistant farmer would be a more important upgrade right now. But in terms of advancing through the tech tree, we need to get on these architect lodges and the mechanics lodges. In theory, the architect's lodge is going to be a lot more valuable to us right now. But the pencil sets, I'm pretty sure have to be made at the handicrafter's lodge. Which is, yes. Okay. Pencil sets require coal, clay, pine resin, and paper, all of which we have. Yeah, let's make a handicrafter's lodge. See if I can find a decent place to put this that I probably won't need to use later. That's kind of one of the hard things about this mod, is just how much space everything takes up. What's supposed to be in here? Mushrooms, sawdust, rice balls. We're no longer making those, so I guess that can go away. Oh, that was stupid. I could have just gotten rid of this instead. Okay, what's here? Treated planks? No. Goodbye. What we'll do instead is I will go ahead and I will put the handicrafter's lodge right here. Treated planks I don't care about. Set that to pencil sets, whatever that thing was. And then I really should not be deleting any blueberry bushes, chestnut trees. Again, we're not really doing anything with the chestnuts, but it's got to be worth something to keep making those. And we're about to have our 100. And there's our 100. So I believe we're about to have those brain boosting salts as soon as we can, actually get our distillery made, which, oh, okay. That's just about done. We'll be making it soon. I'm going to go ahead and unpause the alchemists so they can start gathering all the stuff. And the strong alcohol, of course, is going to take a while because it has to be produced. But this will store a lot of bad water, which we don't have a ton of right now, but we can easily start bringing down here. This, of course, is going to be the dumping ground for the half-fermented sake, so they stop drinking the stuff. And then we can have logs in here as well. Everything is going to take some time. And it probably irritates the you-know-what out of half of you guys that I keep saying that, but it's true. That's the way she goes, man. Now we have probably a need to do bad water pumps once I have the other science for that. But the bad water bucketing post up here definitely could use some more bad water bucketing, which I will add 2 more of those there. Add some beaver jobs for us. This is set to pencil sets. Of course, it has to gather all those things. That will take time. Got some logs. 70% of the way to a batch of 20. Actually, 2 of those. The one's at 59, so that's good. The rice, we are kind of going through it. The amount hasn't really decreased that much by what we had stored. But this stuff is about to start coming up again, which is good. We want to make sure that by the time this is harvestable, we have space in this little warehouse here. So these guys can stop storing their little meager harvests right there in the way. Down to 20 contaminated beavers, which I guess kind of works in our favor in terms of employment situation currently. So we've got a whole lot going on. I always try to put the wrong crop in here. Yeah, these guys really could use assistant farmers, but we also could really use literally everything else, because the library can have efficient science if we manage to take care of all that stuff, which included is the brain boosting salts and the green peas. And it's over twice as fast, because you get 4 science points every 0.4 hours versus 2 every 0.5, assuming that you're at maximum staffing, which I am not. But we'll get there. I have 5 screw press axles now. This is actually probably okay. No, we haven't filled up this stuff yet, but we will get there. I don't really have enough room to put hardly any of this stuff. This staircase needs to go away. That needs to become a... Oh, you know what? I didn't research these. I made a mistake. That never happens. Ever. This storage here. So warehouse going to support screw press axles, or is that's a pile thing? Yeah, I need to have the actual building. Or I need to be able to put a platform on top of this, which I cannot currently do because I can't research. Actually, hold on. Let's try this. I'm going to surprise myself, I bet. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Yeah, let's bring that thing all the way back here. This will be where these live. And that's cool. We just have to actually make it work. Alright, rice is coming back in. This is still not accumulating any half-fermented sake, probably because... Okay, yeah, there it is. I thought it was going to be done, but now it's not done. Bring it with great haste to the distillery, please, and thank you. Yeah, see, now we're going to be getting somewhere. So this can only store 50 strong alcohol in its output. This can store 100 in its input, so that is currently fine. We are just missing literally any strong alcohol to start the process of making the brain boosting. I already figured out what it's called. Salts. Have we started bucketing additional bad water at the bad water bucketing brigade? These guys are getting a little sickly looking here. Cost of doing business. Eventually, yes, we will have the beaver washing machine once I have blueprints for it and gears. Just stuff that takes time. Now, it is day 10. We will find out maybe sometime soon what our fate in the next drought or bad tide will be. Of course, if it's a drought, we will have to put a building here. If not, we will have to figure something else out. But this has stopped our flood surging stuff. We also, down here also have to put a dam back in. Look at all... My mind immediately just goes to that old vine. Look at all those chickens. And it's a bunch of ducks in a field. They're not even chickens, but it was like, the kid was like 5 years old. It was funny. But look at all that rice. we got a lot of rice. We got to harvest all this stuff. And we have 307. I need to be using more and more and more of this. That's gear storage, of course. I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple more fermentation barrels right here. And I will set those to the half-fermented sake so we can get that going. Okay, they're actually making some strong alcohol. Good. This, very soon, should actually start having some stuff go into it. And then maybe we'll have some brain-boosting salts. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and swap this over to the efficient science recipe. So the mushrooms... the bad water mushrooms, actually, I'm not sure we're going to need again for a while. If at all. Hold on, GMO growing lab. How long has that been a thing? I'm sure it's new. Oh, the wine cellar. But I have to have the degree in... Was that the... Yep. Oh, agronomy. That was changed. That used to be... I forget. But it was... It was not agronomy, but there was still a degree thing we had to put in there. Another set of laboratory glassware. But look at this. Look at this. 4 hours, 110. Half fermented sake from 50 rice. No, no, no. I didn't want to unlock that. That would have been a disaster if I had been able to unlock that. I can't even build it. Still don't have any strong alcohol. So why have they not... Oh, we have 5 pencil sets, do we? Alright, I have the 100-some science. I already forgot what I was going to unlock. Architect's Lodge doesn't require that. Neither does the mechanic. Oh, the amount of fasteners and pine resin is switched for these 2 buildings. What was I going to unlock? I don't remember. Because that was one of those things I had to have a bunch of the... So the Artist Lodge is doing that. Handicrafter's Lodge is doing that. Man, I don't remember. What was I going to build that had to have... Is that architecture? Oh, no, it's the research. It's the research in the Architect's Lodge to build the large farmhouse blueprints. That's what it was. Man, that's kind of scary. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and unlock this. Now, the Architect's Lodge is cool because it can also be used as stairs, which I think is objectively hilarious. So, good job on that one. The only problem is it's kind of impossible to use them as stairs when you don't have anywhere for those stairs to go. So, unfortunately, I think last time I ended up just, you know, popping them somewhere they would fit and just ignoring the stairs functionality. Which is, actually, you know what? I don't know if I ever actually confirmed that they could walk up the side of this. It would be very funny if that was just completely false. I would expect no less, actually. But, yeah, just running out of good places to put things. I suppose I can just pop this. As soon as they get that last tree out, I could put it here on the end, or I could put it right here and just take up a little bit of space. But they still don't have strong alcohol here, huh? Okay. I really hope they're not drinking this. I really hope they're not drinking. Of course they're drinking the strong alcohol. What else are beavers going to do? I need aggressively for them to, you know, actually bring this stuff over here. Yeah, that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. They're just drinking it instead of, you know, actually taking it somewhere. Because, you know, if I put it in a tank, it would be gone too. So that's not got anything to do with it. All right, come on. Come on and get this Everblossom out of the way here for me. Come and gather that tree. This sunflower is ready to harvest. They're just working on it. They're just working on it. We've got to get our rice going, which I was trying and failing apparently to actually have enough fermentation barrels. So we have to make kimchi too, and that's part of what's going on up here is making kimchi. I should have some storage tanks for that. Actually here, the plank tanks probably are fine to just put 3 of those right there. Might as well. And then there it is. Just have some kimchi storage up here as well. Man, I didn't even notice. I didn't even pay attention that they were going to drink all that. Man, that's so annoying. You know, now I have to wait for more batches of this to get... man. At least it's fast to get that done, but man, I wish they wouldn't drink this when I need to use it. Like, this mod needs beaver cops. Just enforce rules about, hey, don't drink this. We need it for something else. Or I don't know. Turn the entire populace into vigilantes and say, hey, you see somebody drinking the strong alcohol, you drop them where they stand so we can send it over to the alchemist so we can get brain boosting salts to feed the nerds in the library. Oh man. What a life, huh? When these are the problems. Okay, so the drought's coming in. That means we need to activate our don't run out of water plan. I know, very scientific term. But this is going to have to get put back in the primitive dam. And then that's obviously going to be high priority. This, for all of our hemming and hawing earlier, I mean, I shouldn't replace it with the dam. I really should have it come out out this way. Pardon me, I have to move my rubble to the appropriate location. We really should put another building here. I don't want to put another lodge because we already have too many beavers. Well, when they're not all contaminated, we already have too many beavers. So that's a little bit of a tough one. Obviously these things would make good space fillers, the screw press especially, but I don't have anything to power it, and I won't as long as this has to be a dam. Unless... No, that would be too easy to have a hydraulic dam house or something. That would be a very interesting idea. If you had a house that was kind of like a pass-through lodge, but it also had a water wheel attached to it. Where that would generate... I mean, probably not as much as like a regular water wheel, but a little bit of a passive power generation could be an interesting mechanic. I don't even know if that's possible to have a house that generates power. Unless you already made one and I'm just dumb. I don't know. Could be an interesting idea. But for right now, just so we have this blocked off, I will go ahead and just put in one of these regular lodges. Or the 2-story watertight lodge. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess... Oh, I forgot I can flip these. I guess I'll just do this, because then I can have 2 haulers. And that's always good to have more of those. They can build this pretty quick. And that will reduce the width of here, and also, you know, keep more of this set to, you know. I keep saying, you know, a whole lot. What is that? Was that Alanis Morissette song? I don't know. This was a long time ago. I just keep saying it. I can't stop. Anyway, our water situation, we discovered last time, was partly due to having these water pumps constantly operating. So what we need to do is we need to build excess housing that we can use as swap space, same difference. So we already have this pit and ladder lodge that will hold 6. That will allow us to shut down 2 of these water pumps. This 2-story watertight lodge will allow us to shut down 2 more. So we could just completely pause the buildings entirely and just stop pumping water out of here. Again, these 2... I did not remember we're actually pumping water, and then we ended up completely pumping water out. So, that's good at the very least. Did they harvest? No, they did not. That's fine. I did not build the Architect's Lodge that I spent all this time and stuff unlocking. But I will go ahead and just put that there just so it has somewhere to go. We can always put it somewhere else. This, making scaffoldings. Scaffoldings are very good. But we want... the large farmhouse blueprint. That's why we're here. Oh, the video's already over an hour long. Okay, well, I guess we need to start wrapping this up. But this watertight lodge now is ready to go, and I'm not going to pause that yet. I'm going to keep this paused for right now because I want there to be that swap space like we were talking about. So right now I have 12. Means I can pause 4 with absolutely no consequences. This, you know, probably actually could have been a dam house. That would have been a very smart thing to do. I should have done that. They drank all of my strong alcohol again. I know it. None of it is here. Not one of it is here. Peanut, I beg you, go get the strong alcohol when they make this. I guess they have to have the 50 half-fermented sake here. They keep drinking that, too. Oh, what a pain. What a pain. 47%, 19%, 20%, 37%. It's a never-ending, vicious cycle of half-fermented sake. Oh, hey, look, it's a flood. Let's pause that so that doesn't end up causing a whole lot of problems again, like it almost certainly is. See, this is what I was trying to prevent. Oh, are we out of... No, this guy's out of range here. Okay. It's just making its way through everything here. There we go. That is, again, part of the reason why we are attempting to do this. I've got 6 free beds. I shouldn't have 6 free beds right now. Why do I have 6 free beds? Oh, this also has dwelling space it can use just as soon as everything is harvested here. Yeah, I really need those assistant farmers. I really need those assistant farmers. Let's set these to harvest sunflowers. Both of these just for right now, so we can get that taken care of. I actually only have 36 sunflower space. That's not... Okay. There's strong alcohol. It's in storage here. I need it to go here. Matt Foster. Zensiku here. Let's go. I know it's prioritized by haulers too, but this, with great expedience, needs to go to the alchemist, where Peanut here can put it in the inventory for the brain-boosting salts. I literally only need one. I only need one. What is going to happen now? The next beaver that comes in here and takes... Okay, the strong alcohol is all removed at once. I can't click on this beaver. Aaron York, the man of the hour, has the strong alcohol. Where are you going, buddy? Let's follow you. Let's see what's up. You are going all the way around. I should probably have a path go between. And you're going in to here where it's being stored, which means that now Peanut can and will, under threat of punishment, severe, begin making brain boosting salts. Hopefully. Yes, we have the brain boosting salts now, which means now we can have efficient science. Look at us go. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's efficiency right there, folks. Now we have 58 science, which is still not enough to really do too much of anything else, but it's fine. Harvesting sunflowers will get here soon enough. Just as a reminder, we need that swap space so we can start pausing these pumps. We have 2,900 water, which is good. I don't know if it's going to be that much to keep us through this drought. We don't know how long the drought's going to be. I guess that's when we'll end the videos, when we find out what the drought like. This is bugging the you-know-what out of me that this does this. And I thought I was going to make it better by fixing this, not worse. 31 beavers in unemployment because all the buildings are flooded. And then the problem magically goes away. Look at that. Look at that. It's an economic miracle. Oh, nobody's working. Why is nobody working in this? No available workers in district. What do you mean? Oh, okay. Never mind. Now they're not the unemployment anymore. Still have 15 contaminated beavers. Really? Really? Okay, did they already went through all these brain boosting salts? Seriously? Alright, well that's going to have to be a... Yep, there goes that surge flooding again. That's going to have to be something that ends up getting done in time. Over time, I should say. But we should eventually have enough stuff to do the research on the large farmhouse, which of course would also require us to unlock it with our research. It is 75 We have all the other materials. I could unlock it right now if we wanted. But, you know, I don't know. So, we'll figure that out. That would be a good thing to, I guess, leave in the comments where you think we should put one of those. Because right now we have all this cabbage up here. Do you think replacing these 4 farmhouses with one large farmhouse and just having this be pumpkin central would be smart? You know what? Take this out of triple speed. I haven't bothered to check. Can they... Oh, okay, they can... Maybe... Oh, Lotus requires 2 deep water. We're going to have to blast. Okay, yeah, they gather rice. So this would actually be a good thing because there's going to have 8 workers. Yeah, okay. So we will replace this. Unless somebody in the comments says that's a terrible idea, don't do this for X, Y, and Z reasons, and then list them, and then I can comprehend it, then yes. If that is you, and you know there's a terrible, terrible thing going to await us if I replace these 4 farmhouses with one large farmhouse, please do let me know. But I feel like this would be a great place to grow pumpkins and help harvest the rice. Just have to be able to get past all that. But in the past, you know, hour, 16 minutes or so, we've managed to get a couple more things going. Nobody's working the Architect's Lodge yet, but we are making, finally, into a limited extent, the brain-boosting salts. And it's an 8-day drought. Okay. I did say that was going to be the end of this episode. They still have not gotten to these sunflowers yet for us to put this in here. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I'm going to immediately pause. We're not going to pause these. These 3 we can keep going. But we're going to pause here and here. Unpause that. Get that to balance out. There we go. And then I still have 7 empty beds, so I can go ahead. I can pause those 3 pumps. And that should bring us to a net deficit of 2. Which means I can go ahead and unpause this, which should give us 4 free beds, which means now I have room to pause. Well, I'm just going to end up pausing them all anyway. But I can pause all of these and then there. So what that should tell us is we only have 3. That's a lot of homeless beavers. We only have 3 of these water pumps left operating. So let's check down here. And there are, in fact, only 3. And they're right here. So now I have 20 homeless beavers to deal with. But we do have 3 beds here that we can make use of. Once this irrigates, that'll be a little bit better. The lumberjack barn, when that goes away, is going to become its own thing. Everything else, I think, is going to have to wait. Obviously, there's no inhabitants in the library in some of these other buildings, but the large farmhouse, when we get there, will hold 12 beavers. So, not the end of the world if we have 20 homeless beavers for a little bit, because that problem will end up getting resolved. And I can turn these pumps back on later. I just want to make sure we don't evaporate, because it is so annoying to reset the rice every single cycle. It takes so long to get it done. We also have to, I'm saying this for my benefit as much as yours, please keep me honest in the comments about what I commit to do and then do not do in an episode, or else I will probably forget. We do need to make a couple of spaces for lotuses somewhere around here. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but we'll get there and get some of this other stuff taken care of as well. But I guess this is as good of a place as any to leave it. We just got our work cut out for us, a lot to keep up with. But again, good stuff that we got accomplished today. Still plenty more to get done. And we'll keep optimizing, keep putting different things in different places, figuring out what we have to do. But we've made good progress, and I'm excited to see what we can get to in the next one. So, as always, appreciate your comments, Beard Boosters, as well. Your support makes it possible to keep doing these videos and branch out, try some other fun stuff like we've been doing elsewhere in other series. So, again, really appreciate all of that support and everyone else as well, even if you're not part of that. Very much enjoy interacting with you in the comments when I can. So please do continue to leave your feedback, ideas, etc. and I will always read them, even if I can't respond. But that's all the time we got for this one. We've got penguins coming tomorrow. No, I'm sorry, not penguins coming tomorrow. We got Prison Architect coming tomorrow. Penguins coming back on Friday with a little bit of a special surprise in that episode. And then whenever Update 6 drops an experimental, that's going to go up immediately. Hopefully the same day within a couple hours. I want to get a chance to check it out a little bit. Time is of the essence, of course. Whenever there's a new update, always got to be first, right? So we'll get to that. I don't know. Again, I don't know when that is. Whenever it is, rest assured, unless I am, I don't know, still sleeping, I'm going to be loading up the game and getting that taken care of. So please do be on the lookout for that and expect that with great haste as soon as that becomes available. But I digress. That's all for this one. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe, have fun, and we will see you back again in the next one. Bye-bye.